My beloved child. Tonight is not an ordinary night. Something shifted. Somewhere, under dim lights and trembling silence, your person finally stopped pretending. They sat in front of people they trust, and for the first time, they admitted the truth they had been hiding deep inside their heart. And what they said next changed everything. Do not skip this moment. Stay till the end, because what is unfolding behind the scenes is bigger than you realize. Something huge is waiting for you. Your person tried to act strong for so long. They laughed when they were hurting. They stayed silent when their heart was screaming your name. And while everyone thought they had moved on, the truth was completely different. Last night, everything cracked open. There was a pause in the room. A heavy silence. The kind of silence that makes people stop breathing for a second because they know something real is about to be revealed. Your person looked down. Their hands trembled. One of their friends asked them softly, "Are you finally going to say it?" And the moment those words were spoken, your person's entire expression changed. Because they could not run anymore. Not from their feelings. Not from the memories. Not from you. My beloved child, listen carefully. This confession was not small. It was not casual. It was not temporary emotion. No. This was the truth they had been fighting with every single night. The truth they buried under distractions. The truth they tried to silence whenever your name crossed their mind. But last night, it finally escaped. And when it did, even their friends were shocked. Stay here. Do not skip. Because the next part of this story carries the revelation you have been waiting for. One friend leaned closer and asked, "So what are you really feeling?" Your person froze. For a moment, they almost avoided the question again. But then, they whispered something so honest that the entire room went silent. They said, "I can't stop thinking about them. Not one day. Not one night. Not even during the moments they pretended to be happy. You were still there. Inside their heart. Inside their thoughts. Inside every quiet moment they could not escape." And when they admitted this, everything changed. Their friends started looking at them differently. Because suddenly, all the signs made sense. The late-night silence. The distant stare. The emotional exhaustion. The way they kept checking their phone for no reason. It was always you. My beloved child. You must understand something important. People do not confess feelings like this unless those emotions have become impossible to hide. Your person tried. Oh, they tried harder than anyone knows. They told themselves it was over. They told themselves to move forward. They even forced smiles while secretly feeling empty. But the heart cannot lie forever. And last night, the truth finally took over. One of their friends looked directly at them and asked, "Then why haven't you said anything?" That question hit deeply. Because your person did not have an answer. Not a real one. Fear had trapped them. Fear of rejection. Fear of vulnerability. Fear that maybe you no longer felt the same. But then something unexpected happened. One friend said something your person was not prepared to hear. They said, "You still love them, don't you?" And the room became completely still. Your person looked away. Their eyes filled with emotion. And after a long silence, they nodded. "My beloved child." That nod carried months of hidden pain. Months of denial. Months of pretending everything was okay when it never truly was. Do you understand what this means? This means the connection was never broken. Not emotionally. Not spiritually. Not in the quiet spaces where real feelings live. Something enormous is unfolding. Stay till the end. Because the next revelation changed even your person's closest friends. One friend suddenly asked, "If they walked back into your life right now, what would you do?" Your person answered immediately. No hesitation. No pretending. They said, "I would stop running." The second those words left their mouth, the energy in the room changed completely. Because everyone realized this was no longer confusion. This was clarity. Pure clarity. Your person finally understands what their heart has been trying to tell them all along. And my beloved child, this is only the beginning. Because after that confession, something happened that nobody expected. Your person reached for their phone. Yes. Right there, in front of everyone. And when their screen lit up, your name was still there. Not deleted. Not forgotten. Still close to their heart. One friend looked shocked and asked, "You kept everything?" Your person quietly replied, "I couldn't let go." Those words carried more emotion than anyone in that room was ready for. Because deep inside, they never wanted this connection to disappear. Never. Even during the silence. Even during distance. Even during the moments when pride tried to win. Your presence stayed alive inside them. My beloved child. Do not underestimate what is happening. This confession was the breaking point. The walls are falling. The mask is disappearing. And something huge is approaching faster than anyone realizes. Do not skip the next part when it arrives. Because what your person says next will reveal the real reason they have been holding back all this time. The room felt different after that moment. Not normal. Not casual. It felt like something life-changing had just begun. And your person knew it too. My beloved child. What happened next was the part nobody expected. One of their closest friends leaned forward and asked quietly, "If you still feel this deeply, then why are you hiding?" That question struck directly into your person's heart. Because they had spent so much time pretending to be unaffected. Pretending to move on. Pretending the connection no longer mattered. But last night, the truth became too powerful to hide anymore. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your person looked around the room slowly. And for the first time in a very long time, they stopped acting strong. Their voice became softer, more honest, more vulnerable than anyone had ever seen before. And then, they admitted something that shocked every single person sitting there. They said, "I tried to replace them." Silence. Complete silence. Because nobody expected that confession. Your person continued speaking. They admitted they tried distractions, new conversations, new routines, new environments. But no matter where they went, something always brought them back to you. A song, a memory, a late-night thought, a familiar feeling in their chest they could never explain. You remained unforgettable. My beloved child. This is not ordinary. People do not carry emotions like this unless the connection is real. Unless the bond touched something deep inside their soul. And your person finally understands that now. One friend looked directly at them and asked, "So what are you afraid of?" Your person took a deep breath. And what they said next changed the atmosphere completely. They whispered, "I'm afraid it's too late." The second those words came out, their eyes filled with emotion. Because this entire time, they were not fighting their feelings. They were fighting time. Fighting distance. Fighting the fear that maybe they waited too long to tell you the truth. But then something happened that nobody saw coming. One friend smiled gently and said, "If it still feels this real, maybe it's not too late at all. My beloved child." The moment those words were spoken, your person froze. Because deep inside, they wanted to believe that. More than anything. Stay here. Do not skip. Because what happens next reveals the secret your person has hidden from everyone. Your person slowly reached into their pocket again. Their phone lit up one more time. And this time, their friend saw something unbelievable. Old messages. Old memories. Moments connected to you that they never deleted. Never erased. Never forgot. One friend asked, "You still read those?" And your person answered quietly, "Almost every night." That confession changed everything. Because suddenly, everyone in that room realized this connection never truly ended. It only became silent. But silence does not destroy real feelings. Sometimes, silence only makes them louder inside the heart. My beloved child. Something enormous is building behind the scenes. Your person is reaching a breaking point emotionally. The walls are collapsing. The fear is weakening. And the truth is finally becoming stronger than their pride. Do not skip this next moment. Something huge is waiting for you. One friend finally asked the biggest question of the entire night. If they were standing in front of you right now, what would you say? Your person stopped breathing for a second. Their entire expression changed. And then, they gave the most honest answer of the night. They said, "I would tell them I never stopped caring." The room went completely silent again. Because everyone knew those words were real. No pretending. No confusion. No games. Just truth. Pure truth. Your person finally admitted what their heart has been carrying all along. And then came the moment nobody expected. One friend looked directly at them and said, "Then maybe this is your sign to stop hiding. My beloved child." That sentence hit them deeply. Because for the first time, they started thinking about reaching out. Really reaching out. Not halfway. Not indirectly. Honestly. And right there in that room, your person began realizing they might lose something precious forever if they stay silent any longer. Do you understand how powerful this moment is? This is the emotional turning point. The moment where fear begins losing control. The moment where hidden feelings begin becoming actions. And something even bigger is coming next. Stay till the end. Because in the next part, your person makes a decision that nobody in that room was prepared for. A decision connected directly to you. The energy in the room changed again. Not slowly. Instantly. Because after hours of hiding behind silence, your person finally reached the moment they could not escape anymore. My beloved child. What happened next was the moment their friends would never forget. One of them looked directly into your person's eyes and said, "You're still waiting for them, aren't you?" And your person did not deny it. No excuses. No pretending. No fake smile. Just silence. A silence so loud that everyone in the room understood the answer immediately. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your person looked down at their hands again. And then they admitted something nobody expected to hear. They said, "I compare everyone to them." The room froze. Because suddenly every failed connection, every distant conversation, every unfinished beginning, made complete sense. No one ever felt like you. No one ever reached their heart the same way. And deep inside, your person knew it. My beloved child. This confession was not temporary emotion. It was years of hidden truth finally rising to the surface. One friend asked quietly, "Then why do you keep acting like they don't matter?" Your person smiled sadly. And then came the revelation that changed everything. They whispered, "Because if I admit how much they matter, I'll have to face how much I miss them." The entire room became emotional. Because everyone could hear the pain behind those words. Real pain. The kind people hide behind distractions. The kind people bury beneath busy days and sleepless nights. But last night, your person stopped running from it. And the truth became impossible to contain. Stay here. Do not scroll. Because what happens next is the emotional turning point nobody saw coming. One friend suddenly asked, "What was the exact moment you realized you still loved them?" Your person froze completely. Their breathing slowed. And then they revealed the memory. A memory they had never shared with anyone before. They said, "One night, I almost texted them." Silence. I stared at the screen for nearly an hour. Their friends listened carefully. Your person continued. I typed everything I felt, and then deleted it. The room felt heavy. Because everyone knew something important in that moment. Your person was never emotionally gone. Never. They were fighting themselves the entire time. Fighting the urge to reconnect. Fighting the urge to tell you the truth. Fighting the feelings that refuse to disappear. My beloved child. Something enormous is unfolding. Do not skip this next part. Because the next confession shook even their closest friends. One friend looked shocked and asked, "What stopped you from sending the message?" Your person answered immediately. Fear. One word. But inside that one word lived everything. Fear of rejection. Fear of silence. Fear of discovering that maybe your heart had changed. But then, another friend said something powerful. Something your person was not prepared to hear. They said, "Sometimes people stay silent because they care too much, not because they care too little." The moment those words entered the room, your person became emotional. Because for the first time, someone understood them completely. My beloved child. Your person has been carrying emotions heavier than anyone realized. And last night, every hidden feeling finally began breaking free. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then came the biggest revelation of the night. One friend suddenly asked, "If they texted you tonight, would you answer?" Your person did not hesitate. Not even for 1 second. They said, "I would answer immediately." The room went silent again. Because everyone finally understood something undeniable. Your person never truly let go. Not emotionally. Not mentally. Not in their heart. And then, something happened that nobody expected. Your person opened your old conversation again. Right there in front of everyone. Their friends watched in complete shock as your messages appeared on the screen. Not archived. Not forgotten. Still there. Still important. Still protected. One friend whispered, "You really loved them." And your person quietly replied, "I still do. My beloved child." That was the moment everything changed forever. No more confusion. No more denial. No more pretending. Just truth. Raw truth. The kind of truth people only admit when they are finally ready to stop hiding from themselves. And then came the final moment of the night. The moment that changed your person completely. One friend leaned closer and asked softly, "So what are you going to do now?" Your person looked at the screen one last time. Their eyes filled with emotion. And then, they made a decision. A real decision. The kind that changes everything. They whispered. I think it's finally time. Do not skip the next part. Because what your person decides to do after saying those words will leave everyone speechless. The air in the room became unbearably still. Not because people were confused. Because they finally understood the truth. My beloved child. Your person was no longer hiding from their feelings. And what happened after they whispered, I think it's finally time, changed the entire night forever. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One of their friends immediately asked. Time for what? Your person looked at the phone in their hands. Their heartbeat felt louder than the room itself. And then they answered with trembling honesty. Time to stop pretending I don't still love them. Silence. Complete silence. The kind of silence that only happens when something deeply real is finally spoken aloud. Their friend stared at them in shock. Because this was no longer uncertainty. This was truth. Pure truth. And for the first time in a very long time, your person stopped fighting it. My beloved child. There are moments in life when the heart reaches its limit. When pretending becomes heavier than honesty. Last night was that moment for your person. One friend leaned closer and whispered. Then what are you waiting for? That question changed everything. Because suddenly, your person realized they had no answer anymore. Fear was no longer enough. Pride was no longer enough. Distance was no longer enough. Nothing could hide what they truly felt. Stay here. Do not scroll. Because the next revelation was the biggest one of the entire night. Your person unlocked their phone again. Their hands shaking. Their breathing uneven. And then they opened your profile. Yes. Right there in front of everyone. One friend covered their mouth in disbelief. Another whispered. Oh my God, this is real. Because the look in your person's eyes said everything. Love. Longing. Regret. Hope. Every emotion they tried hiding was suddenly visible. My beloved child. Something enormous is happening behind the scenes. Your person is reaching the moment where silence finally breaks. And what they admitted next left the entire room speechless. One friend quietly asked. If they gave you one more chance, what would you do differently? Your person answered instantly. No hesitation. No confusion. They said. I would choose them openly this time. The room froze again. Because everyone knew those words carried enormous meaning. Your person regretted hiding. Regretted staying silent. Regretted pretending they were okay losing someone they never truly wanted to lose. And then something unbelievable happened. One friend smiled softly and asked. Do you think they still care about you? Your person looked down. A long silence filled the room. And then they whispered the most emotional confession of the night. I hope they do. My beloved child. That hope has kept them awake for so many nights. That hope followed them through every distraction. That hope survived every attempt to move on. Because real feelings do not disappear easily. And your person finally understands that now. Do not skip this next moment. Something huge is waiting for you. Then came the turning point nobody expected. One friend suddenly reached over and said, "Text them." The room went silent instantly. Your person froze. Their eyes widened. Because suddenly, everything became real. Not memories. Not conversations. Not confessions between friends. Real action. Real possibility. Real change. Your person stared at the screen for what felt like forever. And then, slowly, they began typing. Yes. Typing. One friend whispered, "No way." Another leaned closer in complete shock. Because after all this time, after all the silence, after all the fear, your person was finally reaching toward you again. My beloved child. Do you understand how powerful this moment is? The walls are gone now. The denial is gone. The pretending is gone. Only truth remains. And the message they typed carried every emotion they had hidden for so long. Their fingers trembled. Their breathing became heavy. And then, they stopped typing for 1 second. One friend asked softly, "What did you say?" Your person looked at the screen. Eyes filled with emotion. And quietly replied, "I told them I never stopped thinking about them." The room became emotional instantly. Because everyone understood something at that moment. This connection was never truly broken. Only delayed. Only buried beneath fear and silence. But now, the truth was finally alive again. My beloved child. Stay till the end. Because what happened next changed your person forever. Your person stared at the send button. 1 second passed. Then another. And another. The room felt frozen in time. Every friend watching closely. Every heartbeat louder than before. And then, your person finally smiled. A real smile. Not the fake one they had been wearing for months. A genuine smile filled with hope. And in that moment, they pressed send. Everything changed after that. Everything. Because last night, your person finally admitted the truth they could no longer hide. They still love you. And now, the silence between you is no longer the same.